Red alert, red alert. Two big news stories today that go together, and I want to talk through them really quickly. So what does it mean when something's in a bubble? We can all imagine our chewing gum getting bigger and bigger. Remember the tech bubble of the 90s, the housing bubble of 2007? And we are just a few days away from the 29th anniversary of Black Monday, this huge growth in the market that led up to a massive crash in October of '87. News story number one. This morning, Wednesday, October 13th, HSBC, that massive bank, is making a red alert signal warning that recent moves in the stock market look eerily similar to just before 1987's Black Monday, which once again was the largest one-day stock market crash in history. So what inevitably happens to chewing gum bubbles? And all bubbles, right? They pop. They pop because that's what bubbles have to do, and they have to do in the market as well. So why are so many economists saying that right now, October of 2016, that the stock market is in a massive bubble? Well, the reason is because the number one source of buying in the market today is companies buying their own stocks with debt. Let me say that again. The number one source of buying in the market right now is companies buying their own stocks with debt. Companies buy their stocks and artificially blow them up. So how are companies doing that? Here's how. Zero interest rates. Now don't get lost on me, this is really simple. All it means is that it's costing these companies almost no money to borrow money to buy their own stocks. Companies are borrowing money at about 0.25%, and they're getting about 2.5%, right? This sounds like a great deal to me. Now, can you and I just go to the bank and ask for a loan to buy stocks? No way, right? No collateral. They're not going to do that for us. But go figure, they'll go and do it for them. And here's story number two, our news story from yesterday at 2 p.m. The Federal Reserve issued their talking points from their September meetings. And the news story is that an interest rate hike is imminent. So what happens when interest rates inevitably go back up, which they have to do? And what happens when a company can no longer buy their stocks for almost free, and they can no longer make 2.5% profits? What if it's actually going to cost them money tomorrow to hold their own stocks? Well, you're going to see a huge selling like mad. You're going to send prices tumbling in minutes, and you're going to pop that bubble really, really fast. Charles Dumas is a famous London economist, and he said just a few days ago that we have maybe only a few more months left of these really low interest rates. And honestly, nobody knows how long the Fed is going to keep doing this, keeping the rates so low. But they're going to go up, and when they do, they're going to pop the crazy, and everybody agrees. The only question being debated right now is how massive this pop is going to be. And with HSBC, this massive bank today, saying that it looks like 1987, right, that's not good. Some of you might remember Robert Kiyosaki. He wrote that really famous book, Rich Dad, Poor Dad. He actually saw 2016 as a massive crash all the way back in 1980, but not for these reasons. How could he have seen a crash 35 years ago? Well, it was just 6 years after the introduction of the 401k plan, or the ERISA Act of 1974. No longer were companies going to help us with retirement or our pensions, right? Now we were going to be responsible for all of our future savings by using the 401k plan. And we had to put our money where? Into Wall Street. And here's what Mr. Kiyosaki saw all the way back there in 1980. He saw that millions of baby boomers right now in 2016 were going to have to start withdrawing from their 401ks this year. And with not so many investors going in the market as coming out, you can crash a system just that way. But according to Mr. Kiyosaki today, what he couldn't have possibly imagined all those years ago was just how desperate the Fed was going to be during this time to prop up the markets with these zero interest rates, or this basic printing of money that's making our bubble or this crash 1,000 times worse than what he could have seen. Now, is this talk in any way exhaustive to the entirety of the system's problems? No, but it is a huge part. And all this is to say is that when that bubble does pop with growing interest rates as well as an aging population, you can know in part what caused it. I hope that helps.